First Contact Protocol. The Galactic Alliance patrol vessel Vigilance trembled slightly as its sensors locked onto the unidentified ship lurking at the edge of the Orion sector. Commander Serax stood at the command center, his tall, four-armed form rigid with tension. His scaled skin reflected the dim blue light of the bridge as he studied the readings with growing concern. "Send the standard greeting sequence again," he ordered, mandibles clicking with irritation. "This is the 7th attempt." Lieutenant Kex, a slender avian with iridescent feathers, manipulated the communications array with practiced precision. "Transmitting on all frequencies, Commander." Still no response. The unknown vessel maintained its position. By all appearances, it was observing them just as intensely as they were observing it. "Senior Science Officer Trell, report," Serax commanded. The bulbous-headed Centaurian with 4 eyes swiveled in her chair. "Commander, deep scans confirm our initial readings. The vessel bears human energy signatures, but..." She hesitated, compound eyes blinking rapidly. "Continue, officer. The technology is impossible. The ship utilizes propulsion systems at least 5 generations beyond anything humans should possess. Their energy signature suggests shield harmonics we've never seen before. The hull composition contains elements that don't match our database." Serax's 4 hands clenched simultaneously. Humans were classified as a Category 3 species, barely capable of interplanetary travel within their own system. The Alliance had established first contact just 70 years ago and had carefully regulated human technological development since then, ostensibly to guide them safely into the galactic community. Could it be stolen technology? Serax questioned. Perhaps pirates using a human vessel as cover. "Unlikely, sir," Trell replied. "The integration is too seamless. This wasn't cobbled together from stolen parts. The design philosophy is distinctly human, but at a technological level they shouldn't achieve for at least another century." The implications were disturbing. If humans had managed to hide this level of advancement, what else might they be concealing? The Alliance's careful balance of power among its 53 member species depended on technological parity and adherence to development restrictions. "Alert Central Command," Serax decided. "Request a containment fleet. This requires immediate investigation." Before his communications officer could relay the message, the ship's alarms blared. Lieutenant Kex jerked upright in surprise. "Commander, the human vessel is hailing us." Serax straightened his uniform. On screen, the main view screen flickered to life, revealing a human female seated in what appeared to be the command chair. Her dark skin contrasted with a crisp white uniform bearing insignia Serax didn't recognize. Her close-cropped black hair framed a face that projected calm authority. "This is Captain Ilara Novak of the Earth vessel Defiance," she announced without preamble. "I represent the United Earth government in this matter." Serax stepped forward. "Commander Serax of the Galactic Alliance patrol vessel Vigilance. Your ship is in violation of Treaty Section 42, restricting human vessels to your home system. Additionally, your vessel appears to utilize technology prohibited under the Technological Development Accord." The human captain's expression remained unchanged. "Commander Serax, the United Earth government no longer recognizes the validity of treaties signed under false pretenses. We have evidence that the Alliance has deliberately suppressed human technological development while extracting resources and labor from our system." Serax's secondary heart began beating faster. This was far worse than he'd anticipated. "Captain Novak, power down your systems and prepare for boarding. Any resistance will be met with appropriate force." Novak's lips curved into what humans call a smile, though it contained no warmth. "I'm afraid that won't be possible, Commander. The Defiance remains under Earth jurisdiction. We come seeking diplomatic recognition, not surrender." "Your vessel is surrounded," Serax bluffed. "Reinforcements are on their way." "Indeed they are," Novak acknowledged, "though perhaps not as quickly as you hope. We've established a quantum disruption field in this sector. Standard FTL communications are currently inoperable." Lieutenant Kex frantically worked her console. "Commander, she's right. Our distress call isn't transmitting." Serax fought to maintain his composure. "What is your purpose here, Captain? If you intended hostility, you would have already attacked." "A fair observation," Novak nodded. "The Defiance is on a diplomatic mission. For 70 years, humanity has played by Alliance rules. We've accepted regulated technological development, restricted space travel, and limited resource rights within our own system. Today, we formally request renegotiation of all standing treaties between Earth and the Alliance. Such negotiations must go through proper diplomatic channels," Serax countered. "We tried that route," Novak replied, her voice hardening. "For 20 years, Earth has submitted formal requests for treaty revisions. Each was denied or buried in bureaucracy. So we chose a more direct approach. By violating the very treaties you wish to renegotiate. By demonstrating that humanity will no longer be constrained by them," Novak corrected. "Our ship is the product of human ingenuity, developed in secret while we maintain the pretense of compliance. There are others." The implications hit Serax like a gravity wave. If humans had built one such vessel, they could have built a fleet. His sensors detected movement as the Defiance adjusted its position slightly. "We're launching a data probe," Novak announced. "It contains evidence of Alliance malfeasance toward Earth, including deliberate technological sabotage, resource theft disguised as fair trade, and the assassination of human scientists who made discoveries that threatened Alliance technological superiority." Serax watched as a small silver object detached from the human vessel and moved slowly toward the Vigilance. "That probe contains no weapons or harmful technology," Novak assured him. "Only truth. I suggest you review it before your reinforcements arrive." The probe stopped a safe distance from the Vigilance, broadcasting a simple message on an open frequency. "We come seeking justice, not war." Serax hesitated, then nodded to Trell. "Retrieve it. Maximum security protocols." Within minutes, the data was streaming to Serax's private terminal. His four eyes widened as he reviewed the contents. Documents bearing Alliance High Council seals detailed a systematic program of technological suppression targeting Earth. Resource extraction figures revealed gross discrepancies between official reports and actual harvest amounts. Most damning were communications between Alliance officials discussing human scientists whose work needed to be contained because they were advancing too quickly. If authentic, these documents would shake the foundation of the Alliance's relationship with all emerging species. "Captain," Serax finally said, "these allegations are extremely serious. I don't have the authority to." The bridge lighting suddenly shifted to red as alarms blared. Lieutenant Kex called out, "Commander, multiple ships dropping out of FTL nearby. Configuration matches, Seraxian battle group." The view screen split to show a formation of sleek, predatory vessels approaching rapidly. The Seraxians, a militant species at the fringes of Alliance space, had been growing increasingly aggressive in recent years. "What is this?" Serax demanded. "Are you allied with the Seraxians now?" Novak looked genuinely surprised. "This isn't our doing, Commander. The Seraxians are as much a mystery to us as they are to you." The lead Seraxian vessel broadcast on all frequencies. "Alliance vessel, power down immediately. The human ship is now under Seraxian protection. Interference will be considered an act of war." Serax stared in disbelief. The situation had spiraled beyond his control. The Seraxians had no treaties with humans. Why would they insert themselves into this conflict? Novak's image remained on screen, her expression thoughtful. "It seems the Seraxians have been monitoring Alliance communications as well, Commander. They recognize an opportunity when they see one." "An opportunity for what?" Serax asked, though he feared he already knew the answer. "To fracture the Alliance," Novak stated simply. "Humanity isn't the only species chafing under Alliance restrictions. The difference is, we've done something about it." The Seraxian commander appeared on screen beside Novak's image. a reptilian being with crimson scales and yellow slitted eyes. Commander Serax, the Alliance's oppression of developing species has not gone unnoticed. The Seraxian hegemony formally recognizes humanity's right to technological self-determination and offers military support against Alliance aggression. Serax's mind raced. This was no longer a simple treaty violation. It was potentially the spark for an interstellar conflict. Captain Novak, he said carefully, I propose a temporary diplomatic solution. Allow me to escort you personally to Sector Headquarters. There you can present your evidence and demands directly to Sector Governor Peltora. No boarding, no surrender, just dialogue. Novak considered this. And the Seraxians. They may observe from a distance, but not interfere, Serax proposed, looking at the Seraxian commander. After a tense moment, both Novak and the Seraxian commander nodded agreement. Prepare a shuttle, Commander, Novak said. I'll bring a small delegation aboard the Vigilance. As preparations began, Serax received a private message from Central Command that chilled his blood. It was brief and encoded with the highest security clearance. Contain human vessel by any means necessary. Technology must not proliferate. Sterilization protocol authorized if required. Serax stared at the message in horror. Sterilization protocol was a euphemism for complete destruction, not just of the vessel, but potentially of the human homeworld. Was the Alliance truly prepared to exterminate an entire species to maintain technological supremacy? For the first time in his career, Commander Serax questioned whether he was on the right side of history. Defiance rising. The diplomatic shuttle docked with the Vigilance amid a tense standoff. Seraxian vessels maintained their distance, but kept weapons locked on the Alliance patrol ship. Captain Ilara Novak stepped onto the Alliance vessel, accompanied by her first officer, Commander Talos Reed, and Science Officer, Dr. Maijan. All three wore the crisp white uniforms of Earth Fleet, each bearing the insignia of the Defiance, a stylized phoenix rising from Earth. Commander Serax met them in the docking bay, flanked by security officers whose hands hovered near their weapons. The Alliance commander's 4 arms were positioned in the formal greeting stance, but tension radiated from his scaled form. Welcome aboard the Vigilance, Captain Novak, he said, his voice carefully neutral. Sector Governor Peltora has been notified of our impending arrival. We'll depart for Sector Headquarters immediately. Novak nodded. Thank you, Commander. I trust our vessel will remain undisturbed during our absence. Your crew has my word, Serax assured her, though the encrypted orders burning in his memory made his promise ring hollow. As they walked through the corridors of the Alliance vessel, Novak observed the technology around her with a practiced eye. The Vigilance was impressive by Alliance standards, but having seen what humanity had developed in secret, she found it lacking in innovation. Upon reaching the bridge, Serax instructed his navigation officer to set course for Sector Headquarters. The journey would take approximately 3 hours at standard FTL. While we wait, Novak suggested, perhaps we could discuss the evidence we provided. Serax gestured toward the conference room adjacent to the bridge. Once the doors sealed behind them, he activated privacy protocols. Captain Novak, he began, his voice low. I've received orders that contradict our agreement. Central Command has authorized sterilization protocol against your vessel and potentially Earth itself. Instead of shock or outrage, Novak's expression showed grim confirmation. We suspected as much. The Alliance has too much invested in keeping humanity contained. If these documents are authentic, Serax continued, then the Alliance has violated its own founding principles. But I need to understand, how did humans advance so quickly in secret? Our monitoring stations should have detected any significant technological leaps. Dr. Zhang, the science officer, spoke for the first time. The answer is simple, Commander. We didn't develop in the directions you were monitoring. She placed a small device on the conference table. It projected a holographic display showing technological development paths. The Alliance expects linear technological progression, she explained. From combustion engines to ion drives to standard FTL. From projectile weapons to energy beams to plasma cannons. But humanity took different paths entirely. We focused on quantum manipulation instead of conventional propulsion. Neural interfaces instead of standard computer systems. Dimensional phasing instead of traditional shields. By developing technologies orthogonal to Alliance expectations, Commander Reed added, we remained beneath your notice while achieving comparable or superior results. Serax studied the holographic display with increasing unease. These technologies, some of them appear theoretical at best, even by Alliance standards. Yet the Defiance exists, Novak pointed out. Commander, you face a choice. Follow orders that violate everything the Alliance claims to stand for, or help us prevent an interstellar war. Before Serax could respond, the ship's alarms blared. Lieutenant Kex's voice came over the intercom. Commander, Alliance battle cruisers have entered the system. They're demanding we surrender the human delegates and prepare to destroy the Defiance. Serax looked at the human delegation, his decision crystallizing. How quickly can your ship execute an emergency jump? Instantly, Novak replied without hesitation. But we won't abandon our delegation. You won't have to, Serax decided. Lieutenant Kex set course for the human vessel, maximum speed. As they rushed back to the bridge, the view screen showed 5 Alliance battle cruisers approaching in attack formation. The lead vessel hailed them immediately. Commander Serax, a stern Alliance admiral appeared on screen. You have humans aboard your vessel in violation of protocol. Transfer them to our ship immediately and prepare to assist in the neutralization of the human vessel. Admiral Voss, Serax responded formally. I respectfully decline. The human delegation is under diplomatic protection, and I've seen evidence suggesting Alliance violations of our own treaties with Earth. The Admiral's expression hardened. You're relieved of command, effective immediately. Lieutenant Kex, assume control of the Vigilance and comply with orders. All eyes on the bridge turned to the avian lieutenant, who straightened her feathers and said clearly, I stand with Commander Serax, Admiral. Then you'll share his fate, Voss snapped. You have 1 minute to reconsider before we open fire. The connection terminated. Serax turned to Novak. We need to reach your ship before they attack. We won't make it in time, Lieutenant Kex reported. Their weapons are powering up. Novak tapped the communicator on her wrist. Defiance, this is Captain Novak. Lock onto our signals and execute Protocol Shepard. Before anyone could ask what Protocol Shepard entailed, the air around the human delegation and Commander Serax began to shimmer. Lieutenant Kex watched in astonishment as they dissolved into particles of light that streamed away through the hull of the ship itself. On the bridge of the Defiance, Captain Novak and her officers rematerialized alongside a disoriented Commander Serax. The Alliance commander staggered slightly, gripping a nearby console for support. Quantum entanglement transportation, Dr. Zhang explained, seeing his confusion. We don't need traditional transporters with their buffer limitations. Captain on bridge, announced the Defiance's XO, Commander Elena Diaz. Alliance vessels are powering weapons, targeting solutions locked on both us and the Vigilance. Execute Phoenix maneuver, Novak ordered without hesitation. Get us between those ships and the Vigilance. The Defiance moved with impossible speed, its engines emitting a strange blue-white light as it positioned itself protectively between the Alliance battle cruisers and the patrol vessel. Shields at maximum, reported Tactical Officer Jackson. Dimensional phase variance active. The lead Alliance vessel fired, a brilliant beam of energy streaking toward the Defiance. Instead of impacting, the beam seemed to bend around the human ship, dispersing harmlessly into space. Return communication only, Novak instructed. No weapons. Admiral Voss appeared on screen again, his expression a mixture of rage and disbelief. What manner of technology is this? Surrender immediately, or we will escalate our attack. Admiral Voss. Novak responded calmly. The United Earth government seeks peaceful resolution to our grievances with the Alliance. We've demonstrated our technological capabilities not as a threat, but as proof that humanity deserves equal standing in galactic affairs. Spare me your diplomatic posturing, Voss snarled. Your ship represents a direct threat to Alliance security. Stand down or face destruction. Serax stepped forward. Admiral, I've reviewed evidence suggesting systematic Alliance suppression of human development. As an officer sworn to uphold Alliance principles of justice and equality, I cannot in good conscience support aggressive action against them. Your career is over, Serax, Voss replied coldly. All vessels, concentrate fire on the human ship's propulsion systems. Prepare boarding parties. The Alliance battle cruisers fired simultaneously, pouring enough energy into their attack to destroy a small moon. The Defiance's shields flared with unearthly light, absorbing and dispersing the assault without visible damage. Fascinating, Commander Serax murmured, watching the tactical displays. Your shields don't just block energy, they redirect it through dimensional boundaries. A simplified explanation, but essentially correct, Dr. Zhang confirmed. We call it phase shift technology. On the view screen, Admiral Voss was shouting orders, his composure crumbling as his attack proved ineffective. The Alliance vessels began to maneuver into a surrounding formation. They're preparing to fire again, reported Tactical Officer Jackson. This time with quantum resonance torpedoes. Our phase shields can handle them, but the Vigilance won't stand a chance if they're caught in the blast radius. Captain Novik faced a decision point. The Defiance could escape easily using its advanced propulsion system, but that would leave the Vigilance and its crew to face the Admiral's wrath. Dr. Zhang, can we extend our phase shield around the Vigilance? The science officer calculated quickly. Yes, but it would strain our systems significantly. We'd lose our ability to jump to FTL while maintaining the extended shield. Do it, Novik ordered without hesitation. The Defiance's shields expanded, enveloping the smaller Alliance patrol vessel in its protective field. On the Vigilance, Lieutenant Kex watched in awe as the air around her ship seemed to shimmer with iridescent energy. Admiral Voss was not deterred. Fire quantum torpedoes. Full spread. The devastating weapons launched from the Alliance cruisers, streaking toward the two protected vessels. They impacted the phase shield with tremendous force, creating a spectacular display of energy as the shield absorbed and redirected the explosive power. Inside the Defiance, systems strained under the pressure. Emergency lights flashed as the ship diverted all available power to maintain the extended shield. Shield integrity at 68% and falling, Jackson reported tensely. We can't sustain this indefinitely, Captain. Novak turned to Serax. Commander, your crew acted honorably. They deserve better than to be sacrificed in this conflict. Serax nodded solemnly. Allow me to speak with Admiral Voss one last time. When the Admiral's face appeared on screen again, Serax stepped forward. Admiral Voss, I formally request recognition of diplomatic asylum for myself and the crew of the Vigilance with the United Earth government. The Admiral's expression froze in shock. You would defect to these primitives. I would stand with those who uphold the true principles the Alliance was founded upon, Serax corrected. I've transmitted copies of the evidence provided by Earth to every member of the Alliance Council. By now, they're reviewing the same documentation I've seen. Proof of systematic suppression and exploitation of emerging species. For the first time, uncertainty flickered across Admiral Voss's face. You've exceeded your authority, Commander. Perhaps, Serax acknowledged. But I've followed my conscience. The question now is whether you'll fire on an Alliance vessel claiming diplomatic asylum. An act that violates at least 6 different Alliance statutes. A tense silence fell as Voss considered his options. Finally, he spoke through clenched teeth. This isn't over, Commander. As for you, Captain Novak, the Alliance will not tolerate technological insurrection. Earth will face consequences. The transmission cut abruptly. The Alliance vessels maintained their positions but powered down their weapons. "They're standing down," Jackson confirmed, but not withdrawing. "Prepare jump coordinates for Earth," Novak ordered. "We're taking the Vigilance with us." As the Defiance and the Vigilance prepared to depart, a new transmission came through, this time from the Seraxian battle group that had maintained its distance during the confrontation. "Captain Novak," the Seraxian commander addressed her, "the hegemony formally extends an offer of alliance with Earth. Together, we could establish a new power in this sector of the galaxy, one that respects the rights of all species to develop without interference." Novak shared a glance with Xerax before responding. "We appreciate your support, Commander, but Earth's immediate goal is independence, not new alliances. Perhaps once we've secured our sovereignty, we can discuss diplomatic relations." The Seraxian commander inclined his head in acknowledgement. "We will watch your progress with great interest, humans. The age of alliance dominance may be coming to an end." As the transmission ended, Commander Diaz approached Captain Novak. "Jump coordinates set for Earth, Captain. The Vigilance is securely within our phase field. We're ready when you are." Captain Ilara Novak looked around the bridge of the Defiance, at her crew, at their unexpected Alliance allies, at the view screen showing the standoff they were leaving behind. What had begun as a demonstration of human capability had evolved into something far more significant. The first step toward a new galactic order. "Take us home," she ordered. "Earth needs to prepare." Today was just the beginning. The Defiance and its protected companion vessel shimmered with energy, then vanished in a flash of blue-white light, leaving the Alliance fleet behind. As they departed, communication systems throughout Alliance space began broadcasting the evidence Earth had compiled, the beginning of a revolution not of weapons, but of truth. In the vast emptiness where the ships had been, Admiral Voss stared at empty space, already composing in his mind how to explain this catastrophic failure to the Alliance High Council. For 70 years, the Alliance had contained humanity. Now humanity was loose among the stars, with technology that defied explanation and a justifiable grievance against those who had sought to suppress them. The age of Alliance dominance was indeed coming to an end.